Good morning, everyone. My name is Amy Wilson. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Paducah, Kentucky. And this is Tuesday, July 7th, and I have a product system that is hotter than it is outside right now. The Stampin' Hot Foil System has been released to demonstrators. That's a perk of being a demonstrator. You get to see and use product a bit earlier than a customer. But they just announced this morning that customers will be able to purchase the Stampin' Hot Foil System beginning Friday, July 10th. So I want to do a Facebook Live for you today to introduce you to the system, talk about its perks, and then demonstrate with the system. So let's go on and get started. So you're getting a sneak peek of the system here while I am getting my camera situated. Give me just a moment. This is never an easy transition. But thank you so much for joining me. This can be an interactive experience. So if you have questions, please let me know. This is the Stampin' Hot Foil System, and I am so excited to share with you. This is the platform. The hot foil platform that comes with the system. So I'm going to show you all of the things that come with your system. And then we're going to explore the accessories that are available to you, like stamps and hot foil dies and foil and etc. So when you purchase the hot foil system, you get the hot foil system platform. That's this machine. You get the power cord, which has this super cool magnetic attachment. You get the silicone platform station that protects your work surface from the heat of the machine. You get the hot foil shim, which you use when you create your sandwich, much like you're creating a sandwich for die cutting or embossing. We call it a sandwich. So this is the hot foil shim, and then the hot foil spacer. All of this comes with your system. You also get the cooling pad, which is over here. That's another silicone pad that you get. This is for the hot dies when they come off of the platform. And then you get this cool magnetic pickup tool that removes the hot dies from the platform. It's a magnet, and then you can transfer them to the silicone mat and release them with the button. So that all comes with your machine, as well as operating instructions and how to use, as well as the contents. So all of this is part of the machine when you purchase it. And this will be available to customers beginning July 10th, which is Friday. So you ask how to use the hot foil system. I had not used a hot foil system before. There are others on the market. However, the Stampin' Up! Product is a superior technology compared to others that are on the market. And it's quite a significant, impressive machine. So I'm excited to share that with you. So what you do first is place your platform on the silicone station so that protects my work surface. Then I'm going to plug my unit in, and then I think I'm going to move that block up closer to my wall so it'll sort of be out of the way. And I've got a lot of space here because I'm going to pull in the die cutting machine in a bit. And then I'm going to just let the magnet do its thing over here. So I've got it plugged in, and then you'll notice that when you plugged it in, there was a beep. Okay, so the platform will beep, and then all the lights flashed. And then it will take 6 minutes for the machine to heat up. So this is a pretty significant tool that we're using here. And we're going to transfer foil directly to cardstock. So it's going to take a while for it to heat. So while it's heating, the white timer button stays lit and the red light flashes. So when it's ready to use, it will beep again. So while the machine heats, let's look at some of the rest of the product line. So let's start with foil colors. Stampin' Up! Introduced 3 colors of foil to begin with. We have silver. Okay, they come in a little box like this. You get 2 tubes per box. So we have silver. We have gold, which I've used a lot of already. And then what we're going to demonstrate with today is a light pink foil. So I haven't used it yet, so I'm excited to demonstrate with that. So the foil rolls are 15 yards of foil. I'm sorry, 5 yards of foil. 5 yards of foil, and they are 5 inches wide. It's a little difficult to cut the foil with the scissors, so I like using my Stampin' Trimmer. It's really easy just to roll it in the Stampin' Trimmer and then hold it in place and cut it out, cut the piece that you need. So 5 inches wide by 5 yards, you get 2 of these per box, so you get 10 yards of foil in each of the colors that you purchase. So these are the 3 colors that we chose to start with. We do have plans to release additional colors in the future. Then as far as product that I chose to purchase to go along with my machine, I chose to purchase the Luxe Alphabet and Numbers. There's a card on the flyer using the numbers for a birthday card that really got my attention. So I want you to see the size of these so that you have a comparison. It's really hard to tell from that or from a flyer or from a catalog or online. The full alphabet is the size of my hand. So let's measure one of these letters of the alphabet. Let's measure the F here. So that's 3/4 of an inch tall by less than 3/4 wide. Let's see. So that'd be 5/8 maybe, a little less than 5/8. So if you're a scrapbooker, these would be fantastic. You could foil them in any of the colors that we have available. Love the numbers as well. So that is called the Luxe Alphabet and Numbers. Next that caught my attention is the beautiful Botanical Glow. Now the gold image here is the hot foil dies, and then it's coordinated with the Botanical Glow stamp. So it's one big photopolymer stamp. So I can't wait to use this. I'm going to use this in class tomorrow here in Paducah, Kentucky. If you haven't registered for that class and you're available, it's offered at 9 a.m., 1 p.m., or 6 p.m. Just let me know that you'd like a seat in one of the classes. So I did gold foil on white cardstock, and you can tell the image is fantastic. You can tell I got a little over foiling here. That's because I used a bigger piece of foil than I needed, and I also really didn't know how to use my machine at the time. So I've read the instructions since, and I don't have that overfoiling that I used to have. I'm okay with the overfoiling here and here, but I wouldn't want that on my piece. So what I would do is cut my cardstock and foil the size that I wanted instead of having excess of each. So that's the Botanical Glow hot foil die and coordinating stamp set. To the best of my knowledge, there's not another company out there that offers a hot foil system that coordinates with stamped images. The classic Greetings hot foil dies really caught my attention. Again, you can't tell size from this, so I'm going to show you the sizes of these. Let's see. Let's do the ruler again. How about that? So this is the word thank you, and that is 3 1/4 inches, and they are about top to bottom, that's 1.5 inches. The letters aren't actually 1.5 inches, but to accommodate the whole thing. So it's bigger than you would want to put like on a note card, but great for a card front. So we're actually going to use the Get Well die when our system beeps. That's the one that we're going to use, and that's how we'll begin demonstrating the hot foil system. Not only does it have the hot foil dies that does the words, it also has the perimeter dies that will cut this out. So for Get Well, we have this die that will cut that perimeter out using the die cutting machine. The one that you're probably going to see used the most is the Garden Silhouette. It really does give you the most bang for your buck. So look how big this is. This is a standard card front. We're going to use this with pink foil as well. So I've already cut my piece of cardstock to go on here, but isn't that lovely? So that's the Garden Silhouette. It's probably what you're going to see the most. I've used it a couple of times. This is on just regular white paper, and this is on our two-tone cardstock. The foiling system, they do recommend using it on two-tone cardstock, which is a smoother cardstock, but it does work on our regular cardstock as well. So drop questions in the comments, and if I don't see them while I'm live, I will definitely reach back out to you with answers to the questions. Another thing that I like to do is use the embossing buddy to take away some of the static before I transfer the foil system. And you know, I practiced on my scrap paper earlier, so I don't have paper to use with the Get Well to transfer the foil. So hang on just a second, I'm going to grab a piece of paper. Thankfully, I had some cardstock scraps handy. That's the beauty of a live video, right? So questions that you might have about the foil system. We are the first to release the foil system with this technology. I love the magnetic closure or the magnetic attachment for the electricity. That's super easy to start and stop. I like to plug my machine back in again as soon as I take the die off, so it doesn't take quite so long to heat the second time around. And the more you use it, the less time it takes to reheat again. It does have a 1-year warranty, and that 1-year warranty is when the product is used as recommended exclusively with Stampin' Up! Products. So after we create our sandwich, we're going to take this through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine to transfer the foil to our cardstock. So you heard that beep, the timer button is flashing now, and the red light is ready. So I'm going to put my die on here. It goes flat side down. So the image is up in this case. I'm going to press the timer button, and then we'll have another 90 seconds or so for this yellow light to flash to tell us that that die has been heated appropriately. While we're waiting on that, I'm going to use the embossing buddy on my cardstock to try to eliminate any overfoiling that could happen with the foil system. And then I'm going to bring in a piece of foil that's about the size of my die. I like to cut it just a little bit bigger than I need, but not extravagantly bigger. A little bit bigger gives you a little bit of room for some shrinkage, or if you don't get it on the die just right, you'll know what I mean once you play with yours. But sometimes it shifts a little bit when you put it down because there's static involved. There's heat involved. There's all kinds of things involved. Gravity, all the things. So I like to cut it just a little bit bigger than I need, but not so much that you experience the overfoiling that I shared with you in the botanical glow. Okay. So we should be beeping here again in just a minute. And we're going to create a sandwich, just like we create a sandwich with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. You want your products directly on your platform. You don't want anything askew like this. You want everything stacked up nice and straight. No lettuce falling off your sandwich. You don't want that tomato all catacornered. And look, I've used my die. I have no idea. Or this is my spacer plate. I have no idea what I've gotten on it, but something, little something on it there. So that's natural. Okay, so it beeped again, and then now the green light is shining. So that means our die is heated and it's ready to create our sandwich. So I'm gonna place the foil side, shiny side down, so our pretty side down. I'm gonna place it right on top of Get Well. See how it kind of just accepts that? Then I'm going to place the cardstock on top of that. And I have a cardstock piece that's extravagantly larger than I need. And then next goes the hot foil shim on top of that. And this is important that when you put these on here, that you kind of try to make them not shift and move. So I'm going to add the spacer, and then I'm going to unplug my platform. Put the plug over to the side. Then I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I know this is probably not going to be the best angle for you, so I'm going to try to make it as good as I can. I'm going to pick up my platform, leaving the silicone mat behind, and I'm going to put this into my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I'm going to hold on to these platforms down here at the bottom so that they don't shift as they begin to go into the machine. And then the instructions say to roll this through very slowly. Okay? So we're being sure that the sandwich doesn't move by holding my fingers there. You can probably see them on the screen right now. Okay, we're moving it through. Sometimes when you're die cutting something intricate, you might roll this back through backwards. That's not necessary with the die cutting and foiling machine. In fact, it's discouraged. So do not roll it back through the machine. Don't reverse it. So I'm going to take it out the back side. It's not so hot now that I can't touch it. And I'm going to try to keep the plates from shifting. I'm going to move my machine off to the side, which is not something you'll have to do when you're working at home. It's not something that I do on a regular basis, but for camera viewing purposes, I needed the space. So I'm going to take off my spacer. I'm going to take off the hot foil shim, which is toasty. And then I'm going to pick up my cardstock. Okay, and then I'm going to take my magnetic pickup tool, attach that hot die to it, move it over to my silicone platform, and release it. Everything works better off camera, doesn't it? Okay, so now we have Get Well. Hopefully it's transferred. I have no doubt that it is. So we're just going to take our fingers and remove that backing. And I hope you can see how pretty that looks. Can you see that? Then with the magic of television, I'm going to use this die and the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I'm going to die cut our sentiment so that this is what it looks like when we're finished. Okay? How fun is that? Leave me a comment if you think that's magical. I remember when I first used the die cutting system to emboss, and I had to own it because I thought embossing was just magical, and I still do. So this is the next thing to embossing. Okay, I can't get that to release. I wonder why. Okay, that's something for me to figure out then. Always happens on live video, right? Okay, so the next thing that we're going to use is the Garden Silhouette die, the hot foil die. And this is going to leave us an all-over image on our card front. So we'll be creating a card with this eventually. So I'm not going to do that on camera, but the purpose is to share the information about the hot foil system and to show you how to use it. So we're going to let this platform heat again. So the red light is flashing. We're going to wait for a beep. While we're doing that, I'm going to use the embossing buddy to transfer a little bit to my cardstock so that when I add the foil, it doesn't transfer in places that I don't want it to transfer. Okay. Do you have a favorite of the accessories that I've shown you? I've shown you the Botanical Glow, which is the leaves, the classic sentiments, classic greetings. This is Garden Silhouette. I loved the Luxe Alphabet and number dies. Tell me if you saw a favorite. While you're considering that, I'm going to show you the Flourish and Frame hot foil dies. So multiple, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 dies that create a frame. There's all of these things that you can create with it. The gold dies on the packaging represent foil. These represent regular dies. And then this is a stamp set to coordinate with that. So you can use the little corners and the corners. The bee is adorable. So what I'm going to do is, while we're waiting for this to heat, I'm going to show you the difference in the dies in the packaging here so that you can tell. So on the package, you can tell because they're gold, but when you get them out here, which is which, right? Okay, so what you can do is you can tell the difference in the foiling dies and the cutting dies by their sheen. So I hope you can see this on camera. My foiling dies are here in my left hand. They are dull. They're a matte finish. And my perimeter dies, or dies that cut for me, are shiny. Can you see the difference? I hope you can tell the difference. That's how you can tell the difference other than the packaging with our hot foil system. Okay, did you hear the beep? All right, so I'm going to put the die on here. Again, it's going flat side down onto the surface because we want to transfer that image with the foil to our cardstock. So I'm going to press the timer again, and this takes about 90 seconds for that die to heat. And then we're going to add foil to that. I've also cut a piece of foil about the size of my card front. Did I get that? Nope, look at that. I missed it. Well, we'll transfer as much as we can. How about that? So a standard card front is 5 1/4 by 4, and I have mismeasured somehow. So we will transfer as much foil as we can. How about that? Tell me if you have questions about the system. If you're excited about the system, do you have experience with hot foiling? I did not have prior experience with hot foiling, so I'm excited about this. So the yellow light is flashing. When this is hot enough for us to add the foil to it, we're going to have the green light solid, and all the lights will be solid at that point. I do have a flyer to show with you, or to show you. If you're not part of my email list, send me a message with your email and I could add you to my email list. But I sent that flyer out this morning to all of my customers on my email list. It's like a catalog. It's like a little mini catalog. And I'd be happy to send that to you. Okay, so we have all of our lights lit up. So I'm going to add my foil. Again, we're putting the colored side down. And then I'm going to add my cardstock on the side that I actually used the embossing buddy on. In this case, this one doesn't need to be straight. There is a die that's called Swiss Dots. So you'd probably want that one to be straight. So I'm going to add the hot foil shim. Careful not to wiggle that. And then I'm going to add the hot foil spacer. And then I'm going to disconnect the power cord, which is super easy with that magnet. I'm going to bring back in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And then I'm going to gently transfer this entire platform minus the silicone pad over to my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And then we're going to begin rolling this through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine ever so slowly. Does this work with other systems? I don't know. This is the system I have. This is the system that is warranted with your hot foil system. So this is what I recommend. If you don't already have the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, I can help you with that as well. This is a link to my online store. The product that I'm showing you today, other than the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, won't be available for customers to purchase until Friday, July 10th. Okay, again, this platform isn't too hot for me to touch now. So I'm going to remove my die cutting machine. I'm going to place my hot foil system back here, and then I'm going to dismantle. It just all came out at once, okay? So I might have a little overfoiling on my shim, and I do, and that's fine. That's not going to transfer to other projects that I do in the future. So as I continue to use this machine, that is going to continue to happen. So I want you to be able to see this as it happens. So we're going to take the foil off. Isn't that fabulous? What do you think? That one really gives you the wow factor. And look how pretty this is. I'm going to have to figure out how to use that as well, right? Okay, questions about the Stampin' Hot Foil machine? Be sure to reach out to me if you'd like to be added to my email list so that you don't miss future product releases. I'd be happy to do that for you as well. Then this is my website. Let me know if you're interested in the hot foil system. I'd be happy to walk you through that purchase if you'd like. The flyer I'll share with you. I can email that to you if you'd like. This is called Meet Metallic Magic. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but this machine is pretty significant. There's 3 lights, there's beeps, there's microchip technology, there's timers, there's the magnetic plug, all the things. So the machine does have a decent price. It's $160. The system includes everything that I showed you today with the exception of the foil and the dies and the stamps. So the basics from the beginning of the video, if you want to reach back and look at that. So the machine itself, with its standard parts and pieces, is $160. And then there are multiple pages of dies, stamps, masks. Look at the butterflies. Aren't they stunning? Another page. I didn't get this one, multiple greetings that you can cut with one die. Love that. All the foil greetings. This is Swiss Dots that I mentioned. You have replacement parts if you lose something. And then there are full color examples of how to use the stamps, the dies, the hot foil, and then just another little flyer. So I'd be happy to send this to you if you're interested. So you might be interested in a 20% discount on the machine. If you join my team of demonstrators, you automatically receive a 20% discount on your purchases. So you can add the Stampin' Hot Foil system to your order at a 20% discount. So if you're interested in that, just hop on over to my website and you can click the join feature. You can join for $100. put in all your information, and then Stampin' Up! Will send you an email with your demonstrator ID as well as a coupon code for $125 off your first project. No, first order. $125 off your first order. And then anything else that you put on that order gets a 20% discount because it's your first purchase, and future purchases do as well. Reach out to me if you have questions. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.